Little Cowboys trade deadline deal. I think we got 2 weeks from today till the trade deadline. Is that right?
Something like that.
Maybe a little less, a little more. Which players would require a first-round pick to trade for them that you would want? A team-by-team guide. Bill Barnwell, ESPN, one of our favorite writers, he researched recent trades and talked with sources in the league to sort of approximate what you would get for each guy. And, of course, adding some of these, could change depending on, which ones the Cowboys would get. I hope they're in the market. I hope this week they're digging into all of these and this idea of, hey, what do we need to be the team that looks like the best in the NFC? Not just a team hoping to get it done. What do we need? And I would say, right now you're looking at corner. I would also say a veteran linebacker could be huge if the right one is available. And to me, guys, I want to look at wide receiver. We can send Gallup back to offset a little bit of the salary. If it's not sustainable for next year, maybe you can trade him back away. Like that, I think, is an important component here. You're not necessarily trading to keep a guy because the salary cap implications as you're getting ready to pay Dak and CD and Micah Parsons are huge. But could we rent a guy for 10 games plus playoffs and then swap him back out in the offseason or play musical chairs with your roster depending on how important an individual is? So I looked at this as in multiple ways, trying to find star players on non-contenders who could take the Cowboys over the top.
Okay.
And to that point, if I'm the Cowboys right now, I'm thinking we got to do this because if we have another disappointing season, I don't want to sign Dak Prescott to a new contract. I'm done with this. That's what I'm saying to my fellow front office Jones boys up there. Like, guys, we're done. So do we want to have one last great run with Dak and give him the best possible chance? Or do we want to cut bait now? Because things already aren't going our way. The advanced stats say we're kind of above average. Arizona and San Francisco really exposed us. Are we really that close? Maybe we just want to play this thing out, hope to stay healthy, hope other teams get hurt, and then cut bait and start fishing in a whole new way in the offseason. Those are my new two scenarios that I'm presenting. Do we trade and go for it, or do we just let it, go where it's going to organically? But one way or another, if we don't win the championship, I'm done with Dak.
Yeah, I think that a lot of Cowboy fans are feeling that way. I think when you get into year 8, 9 with a quarterback and you ultimately haven't been able to do it, do you then want to double down and then financially lock yourself up long-term with the same player? I would say no. I would probably look to move on and hopefully Dak has success somewhere else as well. I think that might be the best for both sides, kind of where we are right now. But I do think the latter of what you said is, let's just see, maybe some other teams have some injuries. Maybe some stuff falls our way. You keep getting into the postseason, it seems like the Cowboys' view of it is eventually maybe things will fall in place for us. You get enough bites at the apple, it'll be okay. I don't see them going all out, full gusto, and maybe, some way your cap's impacted for the next 2 or 3 years, right? We hear about that all the time. Yeah. They've got this money accoladed moving forward. It's probably for Dak Prescott's contract. That's most likely what they're going to do. They don't care what the hell we think. I think they are going to end up signing Dak to a long-term extension, but my feelings are now aligned with yours after what we've seen in the postseason and the failures against the 49ers.
Yeah, I'd really love to move on, and I don't want to create any cap problems for the next guy. So I think I would just let this play out. But I tell you what, there are a number of players available. Before we get to them, I'll give you what Bill Barnwell said about the Cowboys. He said there's no way Micah would get what best quarterbacks in the NFL are getting, which is 2 firsts plus.
Okay.
But he says you could get multiple firsts for Parsons from the right team. Maybe not 2 top 10 picks from a bad team, but 2 firsts from Micah Parsons. Maybe, if it's a really bad team, a 1 and a future 1, or a 1 and a 2, if it's like a super, super premium pick. But he says, no way Micah gets what the elite quarterbacks get. But then he immediately goes to what Dak would get. It's 1 and some change. So right now, the elite quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes might be 3 1s plus. It might be 4 1s. Micah Parsons is worth 2 1s plus. Dak is worth a 1 plus. And that's Bill Barnwell, national source. You want to say people that doubt Dak are haters. Barely worth a first-round pick right now because of age, history, and lack of playoff production. the NFL is not chomping at the bit. They're not lining up. And this is Dak, by the way, whose salary cap hit has slid way down as all these quarterbacks have gotten paid. His contract is aged. He's not even a top 10 quarterback hit anymore.
I think the assumption, though, is that he's about to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if you're trading for him,
that's a good point.
That's a new deal is coming with that.
Yeah, you're not trading for a contract that's on the cheap for the next 4 years, or even just a respectable quarterback contract where he's locked up. I think that factors in there. That would just be my guess. But it is interesting that he says that. Interesting that he says that. For me, I just don't know. I don't think there's any player or combination of realistic players that could really put you over the top. I think if you're winning this year, it's because you just won the battle of attrition. And you got fortunate that there's really only a few teams that you're competing with in the conference. There's, outside of the Niners, the Lions, and the Eagles, there's really nobody else. So you take your chances and hope that those 3 teams that are probably better than you right now can just, maybe get banged up and something weird happens as the season goes on.
There's not an offensive lineman that's any good that a team's really going to trade you that's going to put you over the top.
The best offensive lineman in the league right now. If you could just put Trent Williams on this team right now. They're not almost, maybe they're a half inch closer to a Super Bowl. You're not doing anything special just because you got even the best player at whatever position that's not a quarterback, get the best player at whatever position, add him to the Cowboys team right now, and everything remains the same from a coaching standpoint, and you fall short of the Super Bowl, probably fall short of the conference championship.
Can I hear the tier of first-round players that Barnwell's interested in moving? Because then I'll make my determination of what I want to do. I think I'm closer to what Chiefs' angle is.
Yeah.
But there's only one guy for me that I would do this for, and that's Surtain at corner. Because I think defensively, we were talking about you have an elite possible defense because you've got 2 guys, and now you're able to move Deron Bland back inside. You've got 3 corners across the board.
Yeah.
You feel like we can play man coverage, and we are good with that. You mentioned how Cleveland was able to knock around San Francisco. A lot of part of that is they're playing some man. We feel like we're good in coverage here. If you're able to add an elite corner, I feel like this team wants to play the defensive strengths. Now all of a sudden we're back in that conversation of this defense can possibly do something special for you.
We've seen 4 games without Diggs. It's clear it's making a major impact.
It is making a difference. That's why I'm interested in seeing these names.
Okay, Surtain is 2 first-rounders because Denver just doesn't want to deal them. So I would do this. I would give Denver the 2 first-rounders and then trade him in March or trade Diggs in March and just keep one of the 2 corners. I don't think it's sustainable. But, right now, if you give up the first but you're able to recoup them before next year's draft hits, this is how you can rent a player and turn it over. And the Cowboys don't have to, tax their salary cap too hard or risk too much of the future. It's the only salary cap management technique I think the Cowboys could use with how they operate. They mentioned Justin Simmons with Denver, not worth a 1 right now. I'm offering day 2 picks for a safety in Justin Simmons who's going to be better at all aspects of playing that position than anything I've seen from all 3 of my guys so far.
Yeah, you might be in trouble there because his agent is Prescott's agent, and if they're starting to get whispers of you're going to do something with Dak moving on, that might not play out well for you.
Okay, by the way, Justin Jefferson, just a non-starter, but very interesting. He's 2 firsts plus. If you want to get Justin Jefferson off the Vikings, probably a non-starter, but there's a price for everything. If you really wanted Justin Jefferson, you could call them and offer 2 1s and a 2, and maybe make them seriously think about it. The opportunity to pair up Jefferson and Lamb, or Jefferson with Patrick Mahomes, or any team out there right now, I think could be a difference maker. Okay, J.C. Horn, cornerback with the Panthers, Brian, very interesting.
Can't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy.
And the coaching staff loves him.
Yeah.
Pre-draft, McCarthy, that whole crew, the scouts were leaning towards Surtain. The coaches were looking at Horn.
Because of his injuries, he's as good as Surtain when he's healthy. You could get him for just a 1. He's out with a hammy right now.
Yeah, that's the only thing. When he plays, I feel like he's really good, and I loved his tape as well. And he's one of those aggressive gamblers that kind of fits the mold of a Diggs and Bland.
Yeah.
But he just can't stay healthy.
This could be it's Carolina, right?
Yeah.
This could be like with what they're doing with McCaffrey. All of a sudden, you get a guy that can't stay healthy, and then you trade for him, and now he's never hurt. I know McCaffrey has a
Yeah,
little
maybe he has better luck with the Cowboys if he does stay healthy.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
And last year they showed they're willing to trade foundational fan favorite pieces in order to build for the long term because they're not close yet, and their rookie quarterback looks off. With the Saints, Marshawn Lattimore still only 27 years old. He's allowing a 66 passer rating against him. Value is a single first-round pick. I'm doing that.
I would too.
Kyler Murray is worth just a single one at this point. Nothing else. Cornerback A.J. Terrell in Atlanta. 1 first-round pick plus a little.
Okay,
he stayed healthy. He's been playing at an all-pro level.
He's been way better
Quinn
than I thought he
drafted
was
him.
going to be. And I think the Cowboys liked him a lot.
Yeah. There was a lot of questions about him pre-draft, though, about him as a player.
Yeah, some of the tape against better teams
It
didn't
wasn't
look
good.
good.
Yeah.
But he's been awesome since he's been in the NFL.
They liked Diggs more than they liked him.
Stephon Diggs is just a 1 because of his age. So I know he's not going anywhere, but if the Bills suddenly had a blow-up chemistry-wise and Stephon's like, I really do hate Josh Allen, you must trade me now, I don't want to spend another day here, that's something obviously you'd have to look at. Houston gets interesting. If they weren't winning so much, the cornerback Derek Stingley still on his rookie deal.
He can't stay healthy either.
And then the offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil, but I agree with Chief. While it might be an upgrade, it's not taking you to a spot now. I think cornerback, linebacker with the right players has a chance to transform what the entire unit looks like.
I heard more possibilities at corner than I did at any other position of all the guys there.
Yes.
The one linebacker, and I don't know that Barnwell has this if you look at Tampa Bay, that I've seen the Athletics say might be available is Devin White.
I'll have to click on that. Final name, the Raiders, Devontae Adams, only worth a 2 now. 31 years old, market-setting money. He has said he doesn't want to leave the Raiders. He might just want to make home Las Vegas. He's got friends, family, whatever there. It's home to him.
Yeah, he's from out that part of the area, though.
If he would change his mind, that's another no-brainer.
Right.
We're going to get Devontae Adams. We're going to throw him the ball a lot. He might be the rare wide receiver who could make Dak better because of his catch radius and his ability to catch bad balls. Just throw it in the area. Maybe Dak would actually get confident at throwing guys open if he had a Devontae Adams. And in the offseason, we reevaluate everything, maybe move on from him. But those are the biggest and best names.
A 2 for Devin White.
Okay.
Bucks linebacker Devin White. It's not bad.
And how old's Devin White now?
I
28 or so?
I think he's in his mid-20s still, maybe 27 at the oldest.
Bye this week. Rams next week. Trade deadline just a couple of days
31st,
later.
31st, yeah, it's a Halloween.
He's 25 years old.
Awesome. Yeah, there's options out there. I mean, I don't know how they're going to look at it like, should we go for it now? Because, like I said earlier, I think this team is always looking at a 5-year plan to keep things even keel and give themselves the most opportunities to get in the playoffs over a 5-year period instead of taking the big swing for it now. But if they want to, man, I'd love to see what this team would look like if Diggs hadn't got hurt, where we'd be at right now.
Yeah.
But what Cleveland was able to do when you can play man, can really free up the bodies to rally the football underneath and stop the run.
They completely, like we talked about yesterday, that man free seems to be where it's at because they carried everybody underneath, carried all the routes, had a safety in the middle of the field ready, and they also took that second safety and just drove him into the middle of the field. So now you're playing at 2 levels. Man all underneath, you got a safety in the middle, and you got a safety deep middle. That freaked that quarterback out a little bit.
Well, and it would help you out against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, too, who really just want to beat you with their 2 good receivers outside.